Today, I am going to share some invaluable tips and tricks with you all that will enhance your web design skills to a next level. In this video, we are going to take a look after some of the amazing CSS snippets that will make your website beautiful and attractive to browse. So without wasting any time, let's dive into the video. So as this is a CSS tips and tricks video, that's why I'm going to show you some of the basic and the most common practices that you should follow while writing any kind of CSS for your website. First, when you are making when you are starting to code, you can just make one file of the style.css, or you can just start by using the style tag. That's the same thing. But what I prefer is you can use a separate file for your. Why is that so? Because when you make a separate file for your style.css, then you get space for writing your CSS code. So for that, let's make one file here with the name of style.css, and then let's go here and connect these two files by using a link CSS. This is like a suggestion that yeah, VS Code gives us when we write like link colon CSS. Let's save this. Let's go here. Now we are having a lot of space for writing our CSS, and at this point we are going to receive a lot of suggestions as well. So first thing I want to share with you all is a common practice. First, when you start designing any kind of website, remember to set your body margin to 0 and padding to 0. That causes some problem in many of the cases. So just set the padding to be 0, margin to be 0. That's one of the most common practice. Second, if you want to add fonts to your website, we can use the link font, but instead of that, you can even use @import. How you can do? Suppose you want any kind of font. Let me go to this Microsoft Edge and let's search for like fonts.google.com. And now you can see here's the Roboto font. Let's select this one. And now we are having two options, add the link tag option and add the date import. So I want to just check this at the date import, and then you need to just copy up this much of code. Just copy up this code and paste it here at the top of your file, not at any you need to just paste it above everything. At the first line of the your CSS file, you need to paste this at the import URL, and this will import all the fonts to your website. Now how can you apply that? You can just say like font family Roboto sans serif Ubuntu Open Sans and Dika. Okay, so these are like four fonts that I selected, like not right now. You can use Roboto by using font family Roboto sans serif. Okay, now suppose you are having some stylings that you want to apply to each and every element on your document. So what you can do, you can just say like asterisk sign shift plus 8, and this asterisk sign represent all the elements of the HTML. You can say HTML document, all the elements. So the moment you give any kind of styling to this tag, it's going to give it to all the elements of your HTML document. So suppose if I get like give like something like font size to be 30 pixel, let's give 30 pixel. Okay, now let me just go here and say like h1 and high, then p tag high. Let me just save this and go live. It's starting. Sometimes it takes some time. Yeah, now you can see here's the h1 tag, right? So h1 tag, you know, the heading tag and the main tag that's have the largest size in HTML, right? And the h means the paragraph tag, which is like you can say medium size. Then also these both are having the same size. Why is that so? Because I just said all the elements stylings font size 30 pixel, right? I just said in the asterisk font size 30 pixel means to every element we are going to send font size 30 pixel. So this is another that you need to know. Now comes the next thing, display flex. Let me just tell you about that. Suppose okay, suppose I want to just align this h1 and this p tag means the paragraph tag at the center of the screen like this. These both elements I want that they come at the center of this screen. So what I can do is I can just go ahead and make one container tag. Now this is a very simple HTML class div container come with a class of container. Okay, so suppose if you want to make one kind of container that is going to cover the whole screen, how can you do that? For doing that, after this asterisk, don't do any coding before this asterisk or even before this body. After the body, you can start your code. So container at this point, in the dot container, let's give something like width to be 100%, or you can give 100 VW, that holds the same meaning. That's going to cover the entire screen in terms of width only. So let's give width 100%. And the height, we if you say like height 100%, that's not going to work. So you need to say like 100 VH. That's going to work. That's going to cover the entire screen. Let's save this. Let's go back. Let's reload. So now if I just now you will ask that where is the container? It's not covering the whole screen. That's a simple blank screen. So if I just go here and just hover on the container, you can see it's like covering the whole screen. The blue area is the container itself. So this is a container covering the whole screen. Now one more thing that you may be confused, like if suppose you want to add any kind of background image to your website, then how you can do that. So suppose if I just go here and say like ocean, let's go here ocean, let's go to images. And now here suppose if you want to just suppose if you want to add this image, right? This is one image that you want to add to your website's background. So the only thing you need to do is you need to just right click here, save images, and then you need to go to the particular folder in which you want to just save this. Right now I'm going to go to my tips and tricks folder, and then I'm going to save it with the name of bg.jpg, or you can say jpg. Let's press enter, and now you can see the website automatically reloads because of the light. Now we just imported that image, but we need to insert that as well. So what you need to do is you need to go to the body. Here you need to say something like this: background. You need to say background, and that's like a code background. And this is used to set the background color, the background image, background size. So let's say background, and then suppose if you want to just link any kind of image, you can see here it's like a reference of an image file by URL. So URL is a kind of function in CSS. So you need to just say the name of the image. Now here comes the thing that suppose if you're passing any kind of data in the URL function, then do you need to use single quotes, double quotes, or you don't need to use them? So the answer is you can even use them, or you if you want, you do not use them. So if you want, you can just use the double quotes, single quotes. That's going to hold the same thing. That's not going to change any kind of anything in the website. So let's save this. Now you can see here's the background, right? Now you may ask one thing that this sometimes yeah, this background is a little bit big. That's why it's not like that. But suppose sometimes this happens that your image is small but the background size is big. That's why sometimes like it's going to repeat. Okay, let me just take one image of a small size. Let's go here and say moderate filter. We are going to just filter that, and as per the size we are going to take a small image. Let's take Okay, let's take this image. Okay, this is a very small image. We are going to save this image at the same place. Let's save this as um r.jpg. Okay, that's all fine. R.jpg. Let's go here, and now let's replace it with r.jpg. Okay, so what is going to happen is you are able to see something like this. A lot of times the same background is being inserted in the body. Okay, so what is this error? Let me just tell you. If you want to fix this, what you can say, background. First of all, the background size you need to just say cover. Okay, then you need to say something like this: background repeat. Now we are having a lot of repeats, right? So you need to say like background repeat, no repeats. I do not want any kind of repeat. You just save that, and when you save that, you can see the small image is only there, but it's like blur. Why is that so? It's a small image, the background is big. You are just extending, or you can say expanding that image into a whole screen. That's why it's like blur. Okay, okay, let me just replace that with the bg.jpg right now. Let me just save that. And one more thing I want to tell you, there is one more you can say there is one more type, that is background attachment, right? A background attachment. This you can use. Suppose if you want to make your background responsive, then you can use background attachment to be fixed. Let's save this. Let's go back. Let's save and let's go to inspection mode. Now if I just like, okay, let's go to mobile view. Let's go to responsive mode, so you can see something like this. You can see now the moment I just written that background attachment fixed, it's like the size of this background remains the same, either in that only. There is no difference at all. So if you go to any kind of mobile phone like this, like iPhone 12 Pro, that's the same thing. Okay, Let's go here and remove the responsive mode. Let's go back. Now, the next thing, how will you apply display flex to your containers? Okay, so the only thing you need to go, you need to just go to the container. The moment here, you need to just say here display flex. The display is going to be flex. Let's save that and let's go back. Now you can see if I just hover on this container, this is the container, right? Now you can see here's the display flex, right? So you will get something like this display flex, and you will get some icon like this. If you just click here, you can see a lot of things you can do with that, right? You can do a lot of functions with this. Suppose if I just append these two things like the h1 and the p tag inside this container, and okay, let me just give the color to be something like white to each and every element of this. I can see hi. So we are in a flex mode, right? That's why they are appearing like this. You may ask that why these h1 and p tag are appearing like this. The only reason is of the display flex. Okay, so display flex is something that's doing this thing. So you can just align them as per your choice. There are a lot of options. You can just try all of them separately. Like if I just click here, like justify content space between, one is going to go to the extreme right, one is going to be on the extreme left. Then we are having something like this, like we are having align item center. Align item center is going to center them both on the screen. And then we are having something like justify content center, that's going to center, means that's going to center both of them on the screen. And suppose if you want space, there are four types of spaces. Like there is space evenly. And what do space evenly, this is one of the most important thing that you should know. Space evenly is something like it depends on the number of items in one column, not one column or one row. And suppose you just imagine that there is a row of elements, and the space evenly is going to separate them with some spaces. That's going to be even number of spaces, and the amount of space is going to depend on the number of items in that row. So this is one thing that you should know about space evenly justify content. Okay, so this is the way you can. Okay, and suppose you just styled that's all at this live editor, and you want to just copy and paste this, so you can just simply that copy and go here in the VS code, and you can just paste this code here to apply the changes. Let's save this. Now you can see here's the changes. So that's like a little bit simple. That's all. Let's do one project related to that, and that's like the typing animation. Okay, that's one of the very exciting projects. Let's do that. First of all, let me just clear up this much of styling right now, and this color white is going to be there, body, and I'm going to just copy. Okay, so this much of code is fine. Let's just remove this background URL here. After that, let's remove the container here, and then let's go here and let's remove this thing as well. So now let's start. First thing is let's set the background color. So let's set the background color. I am having one color there, so I'm going to set this background color to almost. I'm going to set that background color to this color here. Let's go here and set this background color to this. That's going to give a dark blue effect. Let's save this and let's go back to the website. Now you can see here's a dark blue effect. That seems very cool. Now let's go to the body and let's say container. And after that, we are going to say the same thing that I just told you. We are going to say dot container, width 100%, height 100 ph, and then we are going to say display flex, align item center, justify content center. That's all the basic code. Let's save that. Let's make one h1 as well, and in the h1 let's say some lorem text, right? Let's give some lorem, or let's say hashtag code with iOS. Let's save this thing here. Let's go back. Let's now you can see go hashtag code with Ayush. I want to make a typing animation that's going to type this code with Ayush on my website. And this thing you may have seen in most of the websites that you browse that are even attractive. So let's give this H1 some font family first because that seems very bad. Let's say Roboto Sans Serif. Let's save that. Now reload it. So you can say something like that. It's not removing that font. The Roboto font is not. So yeah, here it is. Like I just reload that and hashtag code with Ayush is there. Next thing is you need to just go here. Now we are having this H1. And after that, let's go and make one GS file. We need some GS here because we want to make one typing animation. Even before that, let's do something. Let's say at the rate keyframe, let's make one animation. At the rate keyframe typing. Okay, let's go typing. And here let's say 0%. When our typing, what happens? Not typing, let's say here cursor. Let's say cursor. And what is the cursor? You know very well, this is a cursor, right? You can see here in my data only at R, there is one cursor. It's like blinking, right? So a blinking cursor is there. Now what I want to do is I want to say at 0%, at 0%, I'm going to say border right, border right, and we are going to set the color, border right color to be none, okay? And at 100%, border right color to be white. Now, what do I mean by that? Suppose if this animation is running infinitely in 1 second only. So what will happen? The cursor will blink. At 0% means at one moment it's going to be like no background color is there. At the 100% it's going to give a white color, right? So that's like a blinking cursor only. Let's go to this H1 and let's say animation cursor cursor 1 second infinite. Okay, so cursor, the name of the animation, duration of the animation, iteration count, and we need to give the border right as well. Means what's going to be the border right? So 1 pixel, solid, white. Let's save that. Let's go here. Now we are not getting any kind of border right from at this point. So we are having this H1, and we are not getting this border. Sorry, border width. I just give that border width. Border right. Let's save this. Now if I go back, now you can see here is our like cursor. There we are having one cursor here, right? So we are having one cursor, but it's not blinking. That now at this point, I just got to know that the cursor was not reacting at all. 0% and 100% in 1 second. That's not creating any kind of effect. So what you can do is you can just say 0% and then 50%, then 100%. So 0%, and let's give like the same thing like border right color, border right color, not top color but border right color, right color. At the 0% we are going to give it transparent only. Then at 50% we are going to set this border right color to be like white. Then at 100% we are going to make it one more time transparent. Okay, so let's say border right color to be transparent. That's it. So this is a very easy cursor animation. Let's save this, and this should work. Okay, let's go back. You can see here's the cursor blinking. Okay, now we need to apply some JS to make it working as a typing animation. That's a very simple task. Let's go to JS script and let's take the heading first. So let's say h1 is equal to document dot query selector h1. Then let's say h1, let's say let text that we need to print, the text is what? Hashtag code with Ayush. And let's remove it from here because we are going to just perform that thing in the script only. Let the speed of the animation is going to be 50. And after that we are going to say let's make one function here, type, and let's say let let I to be equal to 0, I smaller than txt text dot length I plus plus, we are going to say let's say here, like, for okay, let's say here the h1 dot inner text plus equal to txt dot char at I. This is a function that is used to take the value at the ith position in a text. Txt dot char at I. We are going to append that in the inner text. Okay. Then what we need, then we are going to just do it by using a loop. So let's say set timeout. Then we are going to pass the function here, and then we are going to pass the speed here. I hope that works. Let's go here and run that. So what it's going to do, it's going to just make a loop. It's going to take up each and every letter. It's going to append it one step by step after 50 milliseconds in the container. Okay. Let's save this, and before saving, let's run this as well. Let's run this. So after running this, let's go to the Microsoft Edge, and you can see something like this is happening. Right. Let's reload it. Or let's make one. Okay. So what can be the issue here? The issue is we are having txt.caret and we have set timeout type speed. So I think we need to just take this timeout out. So the only question that raises at this point is if we are using the set timeout function, that why we need to use this for. We can even just say let I to be globally, I to be 0 if I is smaller than txt.length. If I is smaller than txt.length, we are going to say like h1 dot inner text plus equal to txt dot char at I, and then we are going to say I plus plus, and after that set timeout, because we are running two loops, right? At that case we were running two loops, at this point only one, because there is already a kind of recursion. So set timeout type with the speed of 50 milliseconds. This time it's going to work. Let's save this and let's go back. You can see, you can see here, sir. Now you may ask that it is like a little bit faster, so let's increase the. Now the more you increase the speed variable, it's not the speed variable, you can say like speed decrement, not a speed increase, it's a speed decrease. The more you increase it, the more the less the speed. So you just do like that, and I just pass this speed decrement here. Let's save this, let's go back. So you can see the speed is a little bit low now. Now if I give like 1, that's like a lot faster. So yeah, that's all for this video. Meet you in the next video with some new built-in technology. Till then.